the webinar today, we've set up an event with some test additional purchases on it, usually kind of the more kind of common type ones and the different ways you can go about things. So yeah, we might get stuck in, and anyone else is joining then. Again, feel free to pop in any questions and we can get to them as we go along, and we can check back in then at the end. Um, these additional purchases are just ones set up from ourselves, but like that, if there's anyone on the call that wants to go through their own additional purchase setups on a one-to-one, that's no problem at all as well. So we just have a normal event set up here. So just to show you the different types of additional purchases you have. So the additional purchases are set up for all of the different ticket types. So just to pick one here and proceed. By default on your order form, it'll always collect the order form information first. So whatever your data you're required to collect. So the first name, last name, email, and so on. So in our additional purchases section, then there are a few different ways to go about setting up your additional purchases. So the first one is postage, probably the most common additional purchase used on the platform. So for this additional purchase type, you'll notice that it's a required question, so everyone has to complete it before they check out, essentially. And it's a yes/no drop down. So if they say yes, it adds on the postage fee to whatever you set it at. With the way we've set it up here as well, the additional questions of the address pop up as well. And if they say no, then the fee isn't added, and they don't need to enter in an address for this. We find this one is really useful in terms of reducing like the collection and registration on the day. So essentially, you want more and more people to opt for postage in that regard, and we find doing it this way with the required question set up. We'll show you the front end first, and we'll show you the back end then in terms of how you'd set up the different types of ones. So for the postage one, I'll just go in to edit the event here. For your additional purchases, it's in the event editor under the advanced tab, and you have your additional purchases over here. So these ones are already set up. So whether you're adding a new additional purchase or editing an existing one, all the controls are the same. So I'm just going to click on edit for our posted option here. So you'll notice in the front end, you have the name, postage, and the short description. So this is how it appears here on the front end for the person then as well. So again, this can be really handy, particularly if you're postage, in case you do want to include any collection information, especially if your collection is the day before the event. People will need postage if they're not living close by or traveling to the area. So we find it's really handy to make use of this section here as well. So with the way the question type is yes, no required to select. So this is what makes it appears as the drop down and makes it not a required option that they need to pick one answer, essentially. You can set your price here then as well. I think €5 seems to be a common one for postage nowadays for a lot of organisers. And then another option you can add as well in the back end of this is to allow the sale of this in Manage My Bookings. So this can be handy if, say, a person didn't offer postage and then they decide they do want it, maybe they're going traveling or booked a trip, then they're going to want their package in advance. So you can allow this in Manage My Booking for people automatically to add on themselves if you don't want to keep adding on postage for people that are requesting it from your side as well. So they'll basically need to log on to their Eventmaster account. If they don't have one, one will be created for them when they check out with the tickets for your event. So they can easily go back in to manage their tickets, manage their order, and add on that additional purchase then as well. Once you decide you want to stop postage, you can essentially just hide the additional purchase straight away, or else you can click on hide from a particular date. So again, a lot of organizers, you're going to have a postage cutoff date, so you can just pop that in here. So the postage won't even appear as an option for participants booking into your events before the event. So again, this is a really handy one as well. You don't have to remember to turn it on and off. for people, but we want it visible for now. What I did for this one, just to show you the functionality, is to add in additional fields. So again, if you want to collect any data in the uh, additional purchase option, this is one way of doing it. I think for postage, generally it's better just to collect addresses normally, but just if you had any custom questions based on a merchandise option, you can add in the custom fields here. So essentially, what you would do is add in a custom question in your order form, and all the order form fields that are hidden by default on your event will show up here. So you'll notice here I'd only added in the first 3 lines of the address and county, but I still have the air code option here. So any questions will just appear in the drop down, and once I click on add to list, it'll be visible there then for participants to fill out as well. For organizers who have a range of additional purchases, you can actually order them on your event. So say, for example, if you set up like 5 or 6 different additional purchase options, but you want postage to appear first because it's a really important one for you for operations side of things, you can just select what order you want it to appear on the screen. So I'm just going to save our changes there and then save it at event level. And now if I refresh my screen here, and if I say yes for postage, you'll notice that my air code option is there now as well. Is there any questions so far on the postage side of things? I know it's a really common one for organizers to use, but we find this setup is the best in terms of the required to select as well. So for questions, or maybe there's an additional purchase option, feel free to type in any examples to the Q&A or the chat option as well, and we can go through a setup of any of those kind of different ones as well. So the next one I put in was parking options. So again, this is just a rough example, but you'll see with this one is you have a few different options for people to select from that are at different price points. So again, there's a free option, so like no parking, priority parking, or standard parking. So they're all at different prices. So again, this might be handy, if you do have like a limited capacity, or maybe there's you want people to choose between adding on a t-shirt or adding on a quarter zip, and the quarter zip would be more expensive, or you want people to select between having a t-shirt, which would be €5 extra, or no t-shirt, which would be free. So it's really handy for those different price options there as well. So for this one, again, very similar setup in the back end. In your additional purchase section, you have your parking options. And essentially the drop down for this one is the only thing that's different here. So you're going to do the price options from the drop down. So this will give you the option to add in different pricing points for whatever the additional purchase is. And again, the name and the description are the very same in terms of you having a chance to explain, the setup of the different product, what it is. I'll just show you this part of it here. So you have the ones we have existing here. So say I'll add another price option for it. So the name is what appears on the front end. So we'll do VIP parking, for example. And say this one is very expensive. We'll make this one €50. And we have maybe 10 spaces available that are really close to the venue. So this one, you can control the quantity that's available as well. So for what you'll want to focus on is for the online quantity. So the online quantity is for people coming directly onto the site, like public bookings, for this to be available for them. So again, this is really handy in terms of handling the capacity for the venue as well, or if you have any restrictions on the number of, say, t-shirts or quarter zips you have available, these the the stock control option would work really handily here in terms of the quantities. Another option you have on your additional purchases would be to only show it for the first registered. So if you only want to ask one person in the order if they'd like to buy this option. Usually this wouldn't really be used only for the donation option, which is what we will show you on this one as well. Again, all the bottom section is the same as well in terms of if you want to allow this to be bought in managed bookings, your show and hide options. So you never need to delete an additional purchase. It's always better to hide it, just because essentially people would have already maybe chosen the product and have it in their orders. Like you wouldn't want to delete any of them, so it's always better just to hide. Any questions on that one, guys? It wouldn't be as common for the price options, but it's handy to know just in case if you do have different price points for different merchandise options on your events. Another big one here is so t-shirts would be again a really common one for a lot of events. Sometimes they're included, a lot of the time they might be added on as well. Especially if you have, a range of events and you want to have your own branded merchandise throughout the um, event series as well to make things available and use up that stock. So for the t-shirt, again, very similar in terms of your name. You can upload a image to all your additional purchases as well. And for the t-shirt one, it's just a normal setup. So this is what it looks like from the front end. Oh, get another ticket. So for your t-shirt here, again, we don't have a description, but it's just the name. The image that you've uploaded will appear, and the person can select the quantity. And I'll show you here now. So you can do different variants on your t-shirt sizes here as well. This is again really key. You can choose your price point for this as well. You might want to limit it to one per person or allow people to buy more t-shirts if needed, if you do have additional stock. But by default, this will be limited to one on the system, but you can always increase this as needed. So for the t-shirt option, you'll see there's an option here, so additional purchase variants. And when I click on this, it'll give me the drop down. So I've already added in the small, medium, large options and put in my quantities. And you'll notice here, we've put through some test orders. So you'll see how many are sold of that quantity as well. So it's really easy for you to see from the back end if you're running low on stock, if there's only a small few left in each size, essentially. So I'm just going to click on add new variant here, and maybe we'll add in some extra large ones. And we have, say, 140 of those. And I'm just going to save. So that one will add in there for me. And then again, if you want to edit this at any point, say if you made a mistake with your stock and there's a lower amount there than you originally thought, or maybe you sent a box away to some sponsors. If you want to decrease your quantities at any time, you can do this here as well. So say for the small, I'm just going to click on edit here and I'm going to bring that down to 75 and save. So again, it makes it really easy in terms of controlling your stock as well for that from an operations side of view as well. And then the very same, you have your show and hide options if you want to turn it to hide the purchase at any point as well. Yeah, I'll just save our changes and save again. Is there any questions on the merchandise side? I think it's a really common one as well for organizers. And again, a really great way in terms of increasing revenue. If you do have any branded gear that you'd want your customers or participants to get their hands on as well. I think a lot of organizers would have used this, even on the run up to Christmas as well for like gifts for people also. Our final one in the demo is our donation option. So there's over 400 onboarded charity partners to the platform, and it's still growing by the minute. Um, and essentially, as organisers, all the funds go to you directly in real time, and for onboarded charity partners, all the funds go directly to them in real time too. So on your events, you actually have the option to partner with a specific charity as well on the event. And this is done through the integrated fundraising, but you also have the option to include a donation. So this can be really powerful as well. Say, for example, if the person doesn't want to fundraise while taking part, but maybe they'd like to make a donation to your chosen charity partner instead for you. So this is the option here. You can choose the drop down amounts for the donation for the person and what they are, and this is how it displays on the front end. So again, you have your the name on the additional purchase option, your description, and you can upload an image there then as well. So in the back end, this is our final one here. So donation to Milford Hospice as our example. Very same, your name, your description. And another option you have, oh, sorry, we take up. Another option you have is to only show an additional purchase for certain ticket types. So for the donation option, this might be common. Say if you have a child entry or a child ticket, you wouldn't necessarily be asking children to donate. And same for the merchandise side of things, you can enable it on that side of it as well. So say maybe children aren't allowed to have t-shirts, maybe they're just an adult size that you have there for them. So again, you can control this here by enabling the ticket types link. If this is unticked, it'll automatically appear for all your ticket types for those booking in. This is where you'd upload your image, so the very same as your t-shirt option. We just added in the logo here of the charity. For the additional purchase type, it is the donation option, and then you can control the different amounts that are available on it. So you might want to start at €2, you might want to go up to €200. You can fully customize all the amounts. You just need to enter them each on a new line, essentially, for it to pull through. A common one, like we said there, for the donation option is just to show this for the first registrant that is in the booking. So this is so for example, you'd only ask for the donation once rather than asking, 3 times if there's 3 tickets in that person's basket. Is there any questions on any of those ones that we've covered so far? I think the biggest ones tend to be the stock control side of it is quite big. So having the variants in there for you as well, uh, it can be quite good from the operation side of it. I know it means an original account, or maybe you've put in your full order for the t-shirts for the event and you just want to break it down and maybe like put like 10, like leave 10% of each kind of quantity off usually. So you have a few spares on the day for like swap zones and things like that. Now we'll just save our changes there. So this is what it looks like from your end in terms of the setup side of it. Again, we can help you with any of the setup for any of those options there. These are just examples. You might have totally different merchandise to what we've showed you. But again, the functionality is there that will kind of work across the whole range of whatever merchandise is you have on the day. And then, the front end then as well in terms of what the customer experience is and kind of having that really clear kind of data pull through in terms of needing to know if they want postage or not, and having, certain additional purchases are required for the person to continue on. I don't think there's any questions coming in. So just to show you on the back end side of it, then again to go a step further, with your reports, obviously all this is in real time as well. So as the orders are coming through, you'll be able to see everything in the back end here. So in your event summary, again, you'll just have your default of your ticket sales and the ticket type breakdowns. But if you want a rough overview of your additional purchase sales, you can go into the operations reports. And down the bottom in here, you'll have an overview of your additional purchases summary. So you'll see how many are sold essentially on the platform of each one for you. For your reporting side of it, so your additional purchases will be in two different places. So you have your booking report, which will have absolutely everything. And then you'll have your additional purchases report in here then as well. So just to show you, so this is your booking details report. So you'll have the event name, any ticket types, all the test orders we put through, the addresses for those who had asked for the postage option, and then again all the input data there, and you'll have your additional purchase options. So in here it'll be whatever additional purchase option they had selected, as well as any variants, so like t-shirt sizes and so on. Then your other area is your additional purchases report. So again, this one can be really handy. So it's kind of broken down in line by line details. So for example, in this test order I put through here, you'll notice that the order ID and barcode are the very same. So like I went in and I got a t-shirt and parking and a donation in my order. So your additional purchase report is really handy for being able to break down the different purchases line by line, rather than on a person by person basis. Does anyone have any questions on the reports or that side of it? Again, if anyone wants to go through any of their own setups on a one-to-one call, definitely let us know. I think we had a few requests come in through the webinar anyway for private demos. So again, we can help you set up any of your additional purchases for your events. And like that, I think a lot of the functionality that we've brought into the system has been from requests from organizers like yourselves. So again, if there's anything else that you'd like to see on the platform, definitely reach out to us and let us know. And hopefully with the additional purchase side of it, again, it's something that can really increase your revenue for 2025. And yeah, we look forward to supporting you all. Is there anything I missed there, Kieran? Anything we didn't cover?
Oh, that was perfect. Covered everything brilliantly. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else to add on. It's just let you all know that we are here for support whenever you need us. If you want, as Liam was saying, just walk through adding them on. Look, anything as big as small, no problem. Just reach out to us and we can walk you through it, no problem.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Kieran. Um, with that, so we might leave the webinar here for today. Again, we'll get the recording out to all of you guys, and we look forward to hearing from you soon. Thank you.